wonderful. You can see a very, very bright Brazilian colours there on row 3. That is, of course, Alex Barros, the 35-year-old MotoGP veteran who's making his debut in World Superbike competition. Watch those lights. When they go out, we go, and Bayliss
makes a belt.
Pitt comes across at terrific speed, but Bayliss got a good start, but he's just, I think, being out-muscled. And Andrew Pitt did this during the early stages of last year. He was very fast into the first turn. He's done it again, but one of the Ducatis went well wide.
I think Yamaha were working even last year on a launch control system where it makes the bike not wheelie and just puts the right amount of power through to the back wheel. So that looks like maybe they've got that working properly.
So Andrew Pitt, would you believe only the colour of the bike's changed? The start certainly. Look at that, it's a 1-2 for Yamaha Italia, because Nori Haga, Nitro Nori, has ignited himself through into second place. So Nori Haga right there in second place behind Andrew Pitt. What a stupendous start for the Yamahas. Nori, of course, fastest here when they tested here in December with a 2 minutes 0.5. And he always knew he was going to be good round here, and he certainly he howled round looking pretty reckless during his Super Pole lap. It wasn't greatly effective as a Super Pole lap, but he's certainly effective now.
I'm going to say it wasn't as good as Pitt's Super Pole lap, and certainly Pitt was going well in time qualifying as well. Pitt's it does seem to be getting more home on the Yamaha.
And what have we always thought, that racing's a whole different ball game. There's number 55, an unfamiliar Regis Liconi. And the Petronas has gone down. Craig Jones, who crashed yesterday, has gone and done it again. The 21-year-old Cheshire kid, once again, hasn't lasted a lap. That's what he did yesterday morning.
He doesn't seem to be limping.
Even though he punched off a hole in his knee.
Quite a big hole in the back of his leg, apparently, from the previous crash.
And, well, Carl Fogarty's not going to be terribly impressed with that, because that's what the lad did at almost the same place when he went out on his sighting lap yesterday morning, and that meant he never got a qualifying time.
He got hit from behind.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Was that Kageyama?
I believe it was Kageyama punted him, yeah.
But no, Kageyama's further up the field.
It looked like
it might have been Foray, because Foray, of course, Fabian Foray is now running a third Alstara Corona Engineering Suzuki.
You're right. Oh.
And that was Lorenzo Lanzi got involved in some real
with Barros.
With Barros.
Yeah.
MotoGP sticking it in. Pitt, Haga at the front and opening up a wee bit of a gap. And I think Troy Corsa might have come through. In fact, Corsa's come through ahead of Troy Bayliss. Corsa, the reigning defending champion. Not a great deal of love lost between the two Troys.
No, there isn't. And in fact, both the front-running Suzuki guys are up there. Corsa and Kageyama, who did take one win apiece last year. And
Stalker on the flaming PSG1 ZX10 Kawasaki is also running well in about 6th place, ahead of Lorenzo Lanzi. He's got past him and he's flame throwing at him right now. So Chris Walker, the Nottinghamshire star, getting himself on a bit of a wide line there, mind, is ahead of Lorenzo Lanzi.
He is.
He's in 6th place, but he did say that after about 5 laps...
You say what he said.
That bike became a bit of a handful.
Yes, that's a polite way of putting it.
And Nori Haga has pinched the lead. It's great to see that Haga has stolen the lead from Andrew Pitt. Not that I've got anything at all remotely against the extremely likeable Andrew Pitt. It's just that Nori, you feel, if he can get to the front and get a clear track, it'll be fascinating to see what he can do. At the moment, oh, look at the tyre-burning Suzuki through turn 11. That turn 11 is so good as they drift around the apex. And I was going to say that the two Yamahas, Ducati of Bayliss, and the two Suzukis have broken away now. This has become a 10-wheel freight train at the front. They've just cracked open a bit of a gap, but Kageyama's on the limit. Kageyama, he always is, but he looks really ragged. And Carl Muggridge didn't get a very good start at all. He's tucked in behind Chris Walker and Lorenzo Lanzi.
Yeah, well, for Muggridge, it was always going to be, could he make a start from the second row?
And I've just realised that our former champion Toseland, 10th place after a really dreadful getaway, and all the excitement. I hadn't realised that James had stood still when the lights changed.
Yeah, that's from the outside of the first row. The front row. Should have made a better start from there.
And Andrew Pitt isn't going to let Nori Haga have it all its own way. He just lights up the R1 and carves his way past his teammate as they go through turn 1. That's turn 1, and then they go up to the left-hander into through turn 2, and almost immediately they'll switch back through a left up the hill.
Well, this will be cheering the Yamaha Italy guys up.
Lorenzo Lanzi, I think, has got back past Walker, and he's got a bit of clear track ahead of him, and will be setting his sights on that group in front. Fastest lap already for Troy Corsa. The 2006 specification. Pirelli's, of course, everybody's agreed, a great improvement on what has gone before. And also, they weren't allowed to use any qualifiers throughout practice. That's a new ruling. Only the 16 guys who get into Superpole get a qualifying tyre at the end of the afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. And you're saying, don't think that it's all the development's done through winter and they've made big changes. It isn't. The development goes on all last year. It's just that they don't develop because they've got to have every tyre available.
Teammates.
That was Corsa putting Bayliss wide as well for third.
It's showing
Lansley's making some headway, yeah?
Lansley is making headway. He said that he took it very carefully in the wet, and it looks to me as if Corsa's also a bit anxious to perhaps get into the Yamahas.
Yeah. But like I was saying, that it isn't just that this winter that Pirelli's done a lot of development. They developed the tyres all last year, but the development tyres that were definitely an improvement didn't make it to the track because they didn't want to produce enough to have enough available in case everybody wanted them. So basically, we've got 1 year's development just coming into the proceedings now.
Well, certainly all the guys generally are much, much happier with them, with their side grip and their general performance.
Yeah.
And Troy Corsa was saying that it certainly changed the behaviour of the Suzuki. He says another thing that's changed the behaviour of Suzuki is he's 5 kilos lighter.
Yeah, well,
he looks well trimmed, as if he's been visiting the gym and getting a bit done.
Well, I think...
As too does Lorenzo Lanzi, who's coming into the frame now with Tosland. James Tosland tailing Lorenzo Lanzi as his teammate Carl Muggeridge slips through and passes. I think that might have been Frankie Killy. So Stalker, he said that Kawasaki's NX10 did become a handful about 5 laps in. Already on the 3rd lap, seems to be reversing through the pack. Walking back to 10th place now with Max Neukirchner making a good run on the Pedagini Ducati. I've always thought, James, that Pedagini Ducati just needed a decent young rider on board to actually get to get some results. And I think Neukirchner's late and desperate swap might bring it.
Yeah, I rate Neukirchner. He had some stunning rides last year, and a lot of them he was riding injured. He did drop off a few times. He tried really hard, but certainly Pedicini's bike is capable of better than it has been doing.
And in the lead, the 2 Yamahas. Norihaga at the front, and there is Troy Bayliss sitting in 4th place. Bayliss in 4th place, and he was fastest throughout. He only got topped really when it was wet and during free training yesterday by Muggeridge. Look at that turn 11.
Yeah, that's just a stunning camera angle as well.
One of the best bends
it is
in world motorcycle racing.
If just painting the bikes red, black and white has made all the difference, they should have been doing it before, trying different colours before.
We said that Lanzi was making progress. 2:00.449.
Oh, that's him.
That might have been Lanzi. That's Lanzi making progress. It is Lanzi, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh dear, that doesn't look very comfortable. No. Yeah, because Troy's still there.
Yeah, he was.
So there, just as well. He said he'd been careful during the wet weather on Thursday. He didn't want to do anything silly, cause any damage. His debut as a full-on factory rider, and it's just gone pear-shaped. And he won't be getting the hugs and kisses of David Tardozzi this time around. Number 88, Andrew Pitt slides back to the front.
Just when Lanzi needs a cuddle.
He's in tears. Oh, poor David, he's in tears. Oh, that was a big one.
Big crap.
Oh,
I tell you what. That's weird, because you wouldn't expect him to eyesight there. I'm not sure whether that wasn't the bike locking up. Don't quote me on it, but that would be a weird place to have an eyesight. He's on the power real early, if that's what it was. Anyway,
it was a cruel and a sudden one.
It was.
So that means that Tosland will be elevated to 6th place, Muggers 7th, Keeley 8th, ahead of Walker 9th, Neukirchner 10th, Fonzi Nieto 11th, Barros 12th, Rolfo 13th.
And what we've got to watch with these Yamahas is one of the things that was a characteristic of the Yamahas. Yeah, that's Lanzi up for walking. He's all right.
He's okay.
Is the Yamahas tended to wear the tyres out more aggressively than some of the other bikes. That's one of the problems they had last year. So let's see if that happens. Certainly they were working on engine management to help with that problem.
The way that Norihaga howled round that Superpole lap, you could understand the tyres wearing
Well,
out.
I've ridden that bike. I did ride that bike last year at Monza, and some of the riders and some of the teams run a certain type of traction control and electrical aids within the injection and engine management systems that help the tyre wear and help the rider, gives the rider a more comfortable time of it, an easier ride. but Hager elects to run none of that. He runs full power in every gear, so he has to stop it wheeling on the throttle instead of stopping it wheeling through the engine management. And also he runs no traction control, and he just prefers everything full and lets himself handle the power. Consequently, the bike is a little bit of an animal, I've got to say.
That's Troy Bayliss back in 4th place, the man who dominated throughout qualifying. Is he just biding his time? Well, at the moment, he's lapping. His last lap was at 2 minutes 01.127. And Pitt on a 2:00.82. Hager a 2:01. Absolutely 1:0. Corsa 2 minutes 1.18. Bayliss 2 minutes 1.05. Kageyama 2 minutes 1.3. And Toseland 2 minutes 1.34. He's in 6th place. So Toseland is Toseland is very gradually. Certainly he's got Kageyama in his sights for Winston Tenkate Honda. It's a good ride for the former champion, who has pretty bad memories of this circuit from that massive 140-mile-an-hour 4th gear high side that put paid to him in practice and testing before the first round at Qatar 12 months ago.
Yeah, certainly he didn't make as much of that injury as what he could have done, really, because it was a lot worse than what
he's since confessed. Well, actually,
yeah,
yes,
it
affected me for a long time.
Yeah.
Alex Barros has moved past Chris Walker into 10th place on the gleaming Brazilian-coloured Team Claffey Honda. Noy Kirchner is 12th. He's the man who was, of course, displaced by Alex Barros. Roberto Rolfo is 13th, 14th Fonzigneto, 15th Borciani, 16th Norick Abe, and 17th Regis Laconi, 18th Sebastian Jambert, and 19th place for Fabien Fauré, ahead of the 4th Yamaha France bike of Shinichi Nakatomi, and the newcomer who's been the Japanese 250cc champ.
Yeah, and almost Nakatomi was almost riding with Rob Mack's Virgin Yamaha squad in Britain in BSB this year. Certainly Yamaha were keen to get him into Europe somehow, but he's ended up in World Superbike for Yamaha Motor France instead of in Britain for Rob Mack's Virgin Yamaha team.
This isn't what we anticipated. We had this feeling that Bayliss, that man, was just going to crack on at the front and disappear.
That's the Yamaha. That's my old team, looking anxious, not happy.
And at the moment, they're in positions 1 and 2, and here they are, side by side down the straight. Pitt number 88 on the left, Hager number 41 on the right. Corsa, defending champion number 1, ahead of Bayliss, ex-champion number 21. Looking further back down the field, there is the Brazilian Alex Barros.
Yeah.
There is Chris Walker fighting with Max Neukirch. No, it's Roberto Rolfo. Robbie Rolfo, another of the ex-MotoGP men, has now snooked through on the SC Scuderia Karachi Ducati.
Yeah, and certainly if Alex Barros is going to be World Superbike champ, like everybody's touting him as going to be, he's going to have to go a little bit quicker than this, Jack.
I've got a feeling he just might as the season unfolds.
Yeah, I do. He's a quality rider. Anybody can beat Rossi on equal terms is no slouch.
And this is now Kageyama. Now, I wonder if Kageyama's going quicker or the others have just slowed down slightly. Kageyama's last lap, 2 minutes 0.9. He was quickest on track on his last lap.
Yeah, you don't get this in MotoGP, by the way. What we got? 5 chaps now.
Well, we've got Hager back at the front, so Nitro's back at the front, Pitti second, Corsa number 1 third, number 21 Bayliss next up, number 71 Yukio Kageyama is now seeing these guys right in front of him. He was disappointed, Kageyama, with his Super Pole lap. He said he made a couple of mistakes that knocked him off the front row of the grid, which is where he felt he belonged, so he's obviously out to prove that point. Nori Hager, of course, very rarely ever starts on the front row of the grid, but it never seems to make any difference when it comes to the race.
No, it doesn't. He's a Sunday morning man. He likes to race. He's not too worried about qualifying. As long as he's got a setup that he's happy with, he's not too bothered about the numbers.
Toseland has, for a while, for a couple of laps, he was closing a little on that the sight of Kageyama, but now he's just about maintaining the same pace as the guys in front. Actually,
Kageyama's just slid underneath Bayliss there, nice as you like. And I tell you what it is with Kageyama, it's his best mate in the whole world, is Hager, right? But he doesn't like Hager getting any results he thinks he should be having. It happened a couple of times last year. Kageyama was spurred on by the fact that Hager was going so well.
And of course, Yukio won the second race here last year,
yeah.
Remember? He liked this place, and he left here with the lap record in his pocket, with a lap of 2 minutes, actually 2.135. which just goes to show how much these tyres have come on. Oh, and we parked up a bike, Fabian Fore, the Alstara Corona Engineering Suzuki GSX-R 1000. Unfortunately, it hasn't been engineered well enough, and it stopped after 8 laps out of 18. We've still got 10 to go, and look at all this going on. Troy Bayliss squeezed back now to 5th place, has the former champion dominant throughout qualifying, got something to come back with. He did say in a very illuminating moment, I felt, how much, he says, only the people nearest to him, his team and his family, know how hard he's worked to get back to fitness after that really major left wrist break that he suffered last year.
I'll tell you what, I know we keep saying it, but there's nobody in the paddock works harder than what Bayliss does at everything, at his racing, at his fitness, at any injury he gets. He is a little hard man. He really is.
That's number 1, Troy Corsa. Ahead of him, the 2 Yamaha Italia R1s. And now we've got 2 Yamahas, 2 Suzukis, Ducati, Honda. That is the top 6, with Totlund trying to get on terms. Michel Fabrizio is in 7th place ahead of his teammate Frankie Kinney. So we've got, and they've got past Carl Muggeridge.
That's a good ride.
That's a very good ride. So we've now got Hondas lying 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 with Barros in 10th place. Oh, and at the front, I've never really, do Andrew Pitt and Noriega have much to do with each other?
Yeah, I think they're
quite good pals.
I think so, yeah. I mean, one thing about being teammates with somebody is you eat with somebody, you basically end up sharing hotel rooms when you go testing with each other, you travel together in your motorhome. So yeah, I would have said they're mates. They never seem to have anything nasty going on between them. Anyway.
I love the way
when we've sneaked in the motor hospitality and stole the food, we've never seen anything going on.
There's the Winston's Tenkate Honda, while his teammate Muggeridge seems to be struggling a little bit and has dropped back to 9th. Totlund's closing the gap again.
Sneaking up on these lads.
And Totlund was the only one under 2 minutes and 1 second on that lap.
And he's a good half-second quicker than all of the ones in front.
Come on, James. That's a good boy. Just keep, and he's really getting air under the front. Oh, and Yukio Kabiyama says to his teammate and world champion, Troy Corsa, thank you very much. I'll have that half a yard you gave me.
And this is what we want.
Oh, and Bayliss getting right up on the curbstones. He wants to be through there as well.
I'll tell you what, if these lads keep tripping themselves up, Totlund's going to be on them in about 3 or 4 laps from this.
Remember, that's artificial grass at the side of this track at the Losail International Motor Racing Circuit, and that's to try and keep sand from blowing across from the desert that is all around us. And you don't want to get onto that artificial grass. It has no grip at all.
Yeah, we've seen that. The advantage is it doesn't need cutting so often, though, Jack.
We haven't seen many men with lawnmowers. No, you're right. And this is a terrific race. This is the opening onslaught of the 2006 World Superbike Championship coming right at you on Eurosport 2.
I tell you what, Totlund's pulling half a second a lap out of these lads.
Ooh, that's Bayliss almost tickling the back wheel of Troy Corsa.
I think Bayliss is a bit frustrated now. We can see the Yamaha certainly are just trying to put a bit of distance into him.
He's trying to find a way past the canny Troy Corsa, but Corsa's no mug, is he? He can make himself a few feet wide.
He can, yeah, and certainly consistency's got anything to do with it. Corsa, and Kageyama, as it happens, are the ones to beat.
There's confirmation that Totlund's down to less than 2 seconds from number 41, Noriega, at the front. Incidentally, this is Noriega's 150th World Superbike race, carrying the famous number 41. Believe it or not, he did use other ones. He was number 62 on his debut race in Japan in '94, number 56 the following year, and number 57 again in Japan in 1996.
And if Corsa finishes this in the points, which he generally does, it'll be his 25th consecutive points scoring ride.
That's right, and the record is 33 to John Kaczynski, so he's moving, he's certainly looking like he's going to finish in the points at the moment.
Kaczynski finished everything, I think between 96, middle of 96 and middle of 97, Kaczynski scored in every race he was in, I think.
Troy Bayliss really is trying. He's straining every sinew to get some way
inside, outside.
And Corsa is just holding his line. He's just holding his line, keeping it tidy.
But this is one of the most difficult places to pass on the calendar, because one corner goes into another, they're going one side to another, so there's no real chance of getting level or outbraking anybody. Only at the end of the straight, one chance per lap really, unless you're really brave.
The 35-year-old Alex Barros has slipped through past Frankie Killy now into 8th place, and he's got Michel Fabrizio about 3 seconds in front of him in 7th. Fabrizio, of course, former European Superstock champion 3 years ago, and also got his first podium in World Supersports right here. That's Francis Batter, the man who has been he's been so loyal to World Superbikes, that man. He's put so much effort into World Supersport and World Superbike over the years. He really deserved that success last year.
And we've stolen so much Corona beer off him over the years.
Oh, haven't we?
We've raided his fridge on numerous occasions. And look at this, look who's gate crashing this little party here.
Tosland's coming. The greatest jazz pianist in motorcycle road racing is making his presence felt. Fantastic ride by Tosland. His last lap was, again, the only one in the 2-minute zeros.
If he can just keep this momentum going and just get into this group instead of being off the back of it.
Wow. So we've got a real 6-way party going on now as well. Of course, Troy Bayliss looked to be outbraked himself then, and Tosland carves underneath him through turn 1.
Excellent.
And through into 5th place.
Excellent. Come on, JT.
At the front, those two Yamahas who suddenly look like the World Supersports winners of the 2000 of Jorgi Teuchert and Christian Kellner in that red and black livery. And 2 minutes 0.87.
He's going quicker.
Tosland's lap is quickening up. Tosland is the man who's going quicker at the moment at this stage in the race.
He needs to keep that momentum going, just see if he can keep chipping away and passing now. Obviously, if that wasn't stating the obvious, Jack.
I think that's what he's hoping to do. Bayliss just seemed to completely outdone himself. Oh, he knocked the back up.
Didn't run much wide, but just enough for Tosland.
Troy Bayliss, who will turn, would you believe, 37 on the 30th of March. In a remarkably sunny disposition. A man who's... one of the things that I love about Troy is he says, favourite circuit, I love them all.
Yeah, that's him. The man's just happy. His career highlight was actually the first time he realised he could make a living out of doing something he loved doing.
Which is riding motorbikes.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Kageyama. Kageyama just takes off like a rocket. He lights up the afterburner. What did you say about Nori Haga, James, being the red beacon ahead of him?
Yes.
So now it's a Japanese 1-2. Noriyuki Haga ahead of that man, Yukio Kageyama. Oh, this is warming up. As if it wasn't hot enough already. We've had 11 out of it, just approaching 2/3 distance. The end of this lap will be 2/3 of the way through the first race here. And that lonesome figure in the background is the very fine ride of DF Extreme's Michel Fabrizio.
It is.
The 21-year-old Roman who's making his maiden appearance in World Superbikes.
And it's just his fastest lap in, and it is faster than, it's faster than everybody in front of him except for Tosland.
2 minutes 1.29. So Fabrizio is going quicker at this point in the race than he's done so far. Across the line, and again,
no,
that's Fonzi Nieto. Fonzi Nieto, the David Beckham of the World Superbike world, having married his model girlfriend.
What, can he play football?
No, it's just it's the glam, it's the paparazzi who follow him around. Stalker said it's like having Beckham and Posh Spice in the pits all the time. And and this time it's Tosland who makes the mistake.
Touché.
Tosland makes an AMCA novice mistake.
Schoolboy error.
Oh dear, and that's allowed Troy Bayliss through. So that will have messed up his lap times, which have been progressively sound, although, strangely enough, as soon as he got in amongst traffic, I suppose inevitably, his lap time had dropped to theirs.
Yeah, that's the problem, you get sort of dragged.
Risen to theirs.
Yeah.
So Bayliss back through into 5th place. And ahead of him, Nori Haga. Haga is just consistently sneaking a gap. He pulled a couple of tenths even on Kageyama on that lap. Troy Bayliss urging on the Xerox Ducati. That's the Santander, I said Colonial Bank, I beg its pardon, the Santander Consumer Bank, which supplies all the backing and the insurance backing for customers of Yamaha Italia in Italy.
And if you get a chance to look, you'll see the swing arm on the back of Pitt's bike is what I know to be the standard item. And the one on the back of Arga's is definitely one they've fabricated themselves back in Italy. I know that when I last went down there at the end of last year, they were making an hydraulic jig to measure the torsional and longitudinal stiffness of the swing arms. This is how technical it's got. You see there, that's the standard swing arm, and Arga's elected to run one that's one of their own design. So, but I know the standard one is very, very good. A lot stiffer than they thought it was going to be.
And a little picture from Xerox Ducati hanging over a desperate sign as Troy Bayliss once again gets squeezed back to 6th place by James Toseland. So Toseland's crossing the line on bike number 52, of course. He's back to his favourite number after his lacklustre championship defence carrying the number 1 plate last year. And at the front, Kageyama not really able on that lap, incidentally. 2 minutes 1.57 Haga, 2 minutes 1.4 Kageyama. 2 minutes 1.3. Fastest lap of the lap was Michel Fabrizio, who's cut the gap down to 6.6 seconds to the leader.
And is that Toseland under Bayliss again?
Toseland's already gone through. He did before the end of that last lap.
Was I nodding?
You may have been. But Toseland's back. He's 5th. The leader, 41 Haga. 2nd, 71 Kageyama. 3rd, 88 Andrew Pitt. 4th, number 1 Troy Corser. 5th, number 52 James Toseland. 6th, number 21 Troy Bayliss.
And the reason this championship's back really popular again now with both riders and teams is the fact that look at all these bikes, all different makes and all just as competitive as each other. Brilliant. This is exactly how it should be. The rules were set up originally and it worked. Then it became so that you had to...
Toseland absolutely sideways through turn 11, creaming that Tenkate Honda. Now he swings into this series of rights that caught him out so disastrously during testing just over a year ago. Turns 12, 13 and 14. That's the point at which Lorenzo Lanzi departed the race after setting the fastest lap. We don't want any of these guys to depart the race. We want it to go right down to the wire, and Kageyama's making sure it does. He's cutting back into the airstream of number 41, Nori Haga, and still in the background, Michel Fabrizio pushing on, and that looked for a moment to be a mistake by Corser, and I thought for a split second then that Toseland had taken advantage of it.
I think he's coming out of the slipstream now.
And in fact, Corser did make the mistake, and it was Toseland and Bayliss who went through.
Can he get it stopped? Yep.
Oh, he's doing his utmost. No, he can't. Yes, he can. He drags it back. But here comes Bayliss. Bayliss for the outside line. Now, what did Troy Corser do here? Oh, Corser almost collided. It was Toseland who aggressively stuck it beneath Corser, and that's cost Corser 2 places. He's back to 6th and lost a lot of time.
Here comes... These are best mates.
Yeah, very best. Well, how can we? Alcohol-burning, cigarette-smoking mates, these two. And here they are, burning it out on track. Nori Haga.
Haga doesn't smoke. Haga doesn't smoke. I don't think. I know Kageyama does. He could enter a smoking contest and do really well. I don't think Haga does. Does he?
Occasionally.
Does he? Oh, he has the odd fag. No, well, yeah, Kageyama smokes quite a lot, I think.
Kageyama, look at those times. They're super consistent, they're quick. This is Bayliss trying to get the better of James Toseland. Just ahead of them both is Andrew Pitt. So right now we've got Japan 1 and 2. We're talking riders here. We've got Australia 3, Great Britain 4, Australia 5, Australia 6. So Japan and Australia making up the main numbers.
Oh, back markers.
Daisy. Oh, that'll be young Al Niemi, Talal Al Niemi on his Dantin MotoGP R1, who was approximately about 9 or 10 seconds off the pace during qualifying, but they let him start anyway because he's a local boy.
He's done the right thing and got out of the way. You wouldn't want to get involved in this if you're 9 seconds off the pace.
You'd end up in pieces.
You would.
Or somebody would end up in pieces.
End up in pieces, nailed to a tree.
By the way, Fabrizio is still just plugging away at that gap. He's again the fastest man on track. No, yes, he is. He's again now the fastest man on track on that lap, I beg your pardon, was Kageyama. And you can see the evidence. He's right alongside Noriyaga. Kageyama goes through. Kageyama goes through. Holding at 300 kilometres per hour within a whisker of. Slings his way past down the 1 kilometre straight. And for the first time, at the right time, 15 laps in. Smile, Francis, smile. You finally got there.
Smile will get you a pie.
Oh dear, it's the tension. I know what he's thinking. Will he stay on? Will they both stay on? So Nori Haga gets past now, and look at Toseland. Toseland's got past Andrew Pitt in the excitement, and Toseland's into a possible podium place. What a stupendous ride, his first ride for the Winston Tenkate Honda squad, and he's doing Gerrit and Ronald Tenkate proud. In fact, he came through at the same time. Yep. He slipstreamed Andrew Pitt and slipped by, and suddenly we've got Japan 1-2, Great Britain 3, Australia 4-5-6.
And this is perfect for Torsland. He just needs to compose himself, look who's in front, get dragged along with both Haga and Kageyama. We know he can go quicker than this because he did do the whole time he was on his own.
Troy Bayliss is now set to attack Andrew Pitt.
I'll tell you what, I bet this definitely wasn't in Troy Bayliss's script, was it?
It certainly wasn't. These two guys, of course, were both world champions in 2001 when Andrew Pitt won the World Supersports Championship for Kawasaki, and he's just been outgunned by the man who took the World Superbike Championship.
No, he hasn't. Pitt got him back.
Did he really?
Yep, he ran wide, I'm sure of it.
So the two 2001 world champs zapping one another as Torsland tries to get away. And you're absolutely right. Pitty got back. You're always right.
He went in so much quicker. There was no way he was going to be hold his line, and he didn't.
So the ex-MotoGP interest also coming through with Alex Barros and Robbie Rolfo 8th and 9th, Frankie Killy 10th, Carl Muggeridge 11th, Marco Borciani having a good ride on his Ducati is 12th ahead of Noy Kirchner. Norik Abe sneaks into the points for Yamaha France. Here comes Nori Haga.
And that's a long straight to be slipstreaming.
Oh, and they shave paint off one another, and Haga slips past.
Almost a kilometre long that straight, Jack.
And that's 16 laps out of 18, and there's mirth in your old camp there.
Yes,
they're enjoying
it. Yeah. I saw my old chief mechanic Maurino there at the back, jiggling with nerves.
This is Nori Haga versus Yukio Kageyama. It doesn't come much better. Look at Haga just black lining the track there as he backs it in. And all the time, Torsland, he did a 2 minutes 1.4. He was quicker than both of them by a fair amount on that last lap.
I tell you what, I'm impressed with this, Jack. I'm impressed with Torsland in a big way.
I'm thrilled to hear you say that, because you've always, you've kind of always felt a little bit that he does the talking, but not so. Oh, and Haga again. He just slings that back wheel out where he wants to go. But you're so right about Torsland. This is a terrific ride. Because he came from 10th place.
I tell you what, we got. Oh, come on.
Oh, there goes Bayliss.
Has he done wide?
This time it's Bayliss goes wide, but he's able to come back on lean on Andrew Pitt, and he's got that 4th place. Troy Corser, meantime, trying to grab a bit of space, trying to grab a bit of room back, but Andrew just let him in on the entrance to there. The line that he wanted to take was just a bit too wide. So Bayliss now 4th. Is he going to make ground now on Torsland? This is tense and exciting. 16th out of 16 laps complete out of 18. Nori Haga again on the back. Oh, I thought for a moment that the Alstara Corona Suzuki had really burned its way past him, but it didn't quite.
The Suzuki just looks to have the legs on the Yamaha to me. Just about has a little bit of power on it.
Considering how superior the Suzukis were last year, I suppose this shouldn't come as any surprise. 17 out of 18 laps complete.
Yep. Tit for tat this now.
Nori Haga sees Kageyama go underneath him and then tries to cut back.
Don't you think you'd have to have your money on Haga, if anybody? Don't you think?
You would.
I just
kind of feel that way.
I think that Haga's capable of doing something a bit sillier than Kageyama myself.
It's a question who's going to be sillier. Oh, Yukio getting air under the front wheel. Both of them backing in. But that time, Haga perhaps overcooked it slightly and cost himself a couple of yards.
No, not much.
Oh, this is great. I'm really mixed up by it. I think we've got 2 laps to go as Nori Haga just bruises his way inside and says, take some of that through the hairpin. That's the left-hander at turn 6 and then sharp uphill to turn 7.
Kageyama straight back.
Kageyama back.
3 passes, 3 corners.
Now ahead of you, you've got that loop left through turn 8 and then switch back through turn 9. And then the almost parabolica of turn 10, the left-hander. This is a slow-mo repeat of what happened when Haga got underneath, but not for long.
Was a bit of a block pass there.
It's Kageyama who's back in front. Now they're exiting turn 10. Look at this, that's turn 11, just the best turn on the circuit. And Bayliss is putting pressure on Torsland for 3rd place. And they're closing right up together. We're on the 17th out of 18 laps. I'm beginning to understand the scoring system on our graphics now. This is not 17 complete. This is the 17th of 18. We still have another rip-snorting lap to go. And Andrew Pitt versus Troy Corser. That is for 5th place. That's for the lead. And Torsland battling to hang on now to that third place, because a late surge. Would you expect anything else from that man, number 21, the 2001 world champion, Troy Bayliss?
I'm nervous. I can hardly speak. I'm getting all nervous.
Here comes Norrie Hager again. He's pulled out early. Oh, he was confident in doing that. He knew he had the gasp early on. He went past and he's got it.
Has he gone too early, though? We know that Kageyama will have a bit of a nip anyway.
This is into the last lap. We're on to the 18th out of 18 absolutely sensational laps here at the Losail International Motor Racing Circuit in Qatar. Just outside the capital of Doha, just 15 miles outside the city centre. It's burning hot in the air and it's burning hot on the track. Here comes Kageyama. Kageyama nicks underneath.
He's dropped wide.
I'm just wondering if perhaps Norrie wouldn't think it out that carefully. I was going to think, has he decided, yes, I can slipstreaming and pull early and get across the line first down at the last turn. Oh, he got down. He's taking them both down. Hager loses it going underneath Kageyama, and the two mates, oh, bless him. I hope that's
Toseland on for a win.
And that could be Toseland on for a win, and Bayliss on for a second place, and these boys empty-handed. That's cruel. That's so cruel. Kageyama's gone, Hager's gone, and Norrie goes straight across. I'm sure to have a word with his friend.
Before he even got to the corner.
Oh, Francis Batter can't believe what he's seen. But nor can Toshi Arakai, the manager and mentor of Norrie Hager. But now this is for the win. This is for the win. Bayliss, he almost went onto the grass, and but he somehow pulled it back. So now this is the battle, and the battle for the rostrum is between Pitt and Corsa. We're on the final lap of an astonishing race here at the Losail International Motor Racing Circuit in Qatar, and the leader, number 52, James Toseland. This would be some debut if he could hang on to it for the Winston Tencardi Honda squad, but he's got the most dangerous man in the game right behind him, and I don't mean that unkindly as they come down towards the line. It's all down to power. The Honda's going to do it. Yes, it's a win for Toseland ahead of Bayliss. Pitt hangs on to third place ahead of Troy Corsa. Michel Fabrizio grabs an unexpected and astounding fifth place. We'll be hearing from Andrew Pitt and Troy Bayliss, who finished in second and third places. Good points as well for the defending champion Troy Corsa, now 25 races with points. Michel Fabrizio, terrific performance by the Italian newcomer, and beating Alex Barras and his own elderly teammate, the